Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Monica Kamunde. I am a financial advisor. I change people's lives by offering financial advice and financial solutions. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. A few days ago, we started a conversation about money, and we started by understanding what influences our decisions about money. We then looked at what are our money personalities so that we are able to understand ourselves better. Today, I would like us to learn a few tips from the African elephant. As you might be aware, the African elephant is the largest animal on land. And to complement that size, the elephant has an enormous brain size, and with this brain size it has a huge memory, and hence over the years we've been faced by the issue of human wildlife conflict, where you hear that the elephants have destroyed people's farms, or they've destroyed people's houses, or they've even killed people in some villages somewhere. And this is because as human beings, we've encroached into the wildlife corridors, the places where they used to go for to their watering holes and their feeding areas. But you see, the elephant with its huge memory doesn't forget. It passes the knowledge of their surroundings from generation to generation, and hence we will always have the issue of human-wildlife conflict, and especially with regards to the elephant. So in these regards, it's important to note that the elephant pays attention. So what can we learn as investors from the elephant? It's the issue of paying attention to our money. So when you're talking of paying attention to our money, we are talking of paying attention to the money in, what is coming in. We are paying attention to the money out, that means our expenses. We are paying attention to our budget, and we are reviewing our budget. So I want us to unpack the money in. When we talk of money in, it's income that we get from various sources. It could be income from your salary if you're employed, it could be wages, it could be profits from some business you've done, it could be returns from projects. Any money coming in is what we are talking about. But when this money is coming in, the question is, have you created resilience with your money by diversifying your income streams? The majority of us witnessed the pandemic. A few years ago, we were faced by COVID-19, and what happened? People were affected financially. Businesses closed down, others were operating at bare minimum, there were layoffs, people were sent home, and hence there was a lot of financial devastation. And what does that particular scenario in our life teach us? That we need to diversify our income streams. And are there some things we can do to diversify our incomes? Are there side hustles we can do? Is there an extra business we can start up? If you have a spouse maybe who is not working or employed, can you start for them a business? Is there a skill you have that you can offer for an income? Could it be you're good in baking? Could it be that you can do outside catering? Could it be that you can offer consultancy in your area of expertise? So these are things that we can do to increase our income. So, because no one knows what the next pandemic or event will bring our way, it's important that we diversify our sources of income. The second area is on the money out. And this becomes a key point for the discussion. What are we spending our money on? In life, we are faced by cashiers. Cashiers, these are things that draw money from our pockets. Cashier number one, we have God. There's nothing we can do about that. If you have to pay your tithe, you have to pay your tithe. If you have to pay Zaka, you have to pay that. The second cashier is the taxman. It's an interesting time we are living in, and the taxes are increasing day by day. So you have to factor in your tax obligations even as you think about your money. The other cashiers are family. It could be community, could be personal development, it could be your payment of your debts. But the question is, what you're spending your money on, is it getting you closer to your goals or further away from your goals? So the question to ask yourselves, even as you think about spending your money, number one, ask yourself, can I afford this thing that I want to buy? And if you can afford, do you really need it? Do you really need it? Number three, ask yourself, is it in your budget? The other thing you could ask yourself is, can you get the same item at a fairer price somewhere else? And if you have to take a debt or a loan to buy that particular item, ask yourself, can you afford? Can you afford that loan that you're taking? So the issue is, always ask yourself questions before you get into purchasing, and especially when you're dealing with your money out. The other key thing then, after you've looked at where your money is going to, you're looking at your expenses. And then you're budgeting. You've looked at your expenses, and then now the issue of budgeting comes in. There are many ways you can budget. People have different ways they run their budgets, but for the sake of this conversation, I would want us to focus on the 50-30 rule. 50-30-20 budgeting rule. So, in essence, what these rules is break down your expenses into percentages. So 50% goes into what we call the essentials. These are the basic needs. What are the basic needs? We have food, we have clothing, we have shelter. Currently, we have things like medical care. We have security. So those are things that are essential in your life, and you cannot do without them. That's 50%. Then you take the 30% and use it for discretionary items. These are things that you buy or you take on at your discretion. They are not compulsory, but you can live without them. But they're only there to make your life better. The 20% that remains must go into savings and investments. If you're looking at financial freedom, 20% of your gross income must go into savings and investment. And you can break down the 20% in a way that 5% use it to build an emergency fund, so that in an event something unexpected happens, you're able to use that fund. Then the 15% must go into long-term investments. Things like pensions, things like long-term planning for your goals. That's how you spend the 20%. So, if there are three kinds of savings you need right away, number one is the now money, which is the emergency fund. And this is something you can do through a money market fund. The second kind of money you need now is the dream money. We have goals. We started by saying that financial planning helps us achieve our goals. So with the dream money, you're planning for your goals. And then we have the future money. This is money for retirement. You and I know that our bills, our expenses do not retire when we retire. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to leave you as you learn how to pay attention to your money like the elephant does. Thank you for joining me. See you in the next video.